We are heading into our final segment of the show. At last is the Make the Cut segment, where you, the fans on Twitter, vote on which hot sports topic segment you want us to do. And we had a few of them on there. We obviously, I think, had the top 5 athletes of all time. We had the All-Star Game draft as well. MJ versus
anyway.
LeBron debate. Yeah, we did that. We did both.
We did both of those anyway.
Yeah. So clearly, we value your opinion very immensely. No, we definitely do. We're so thankful that you guys vote in those, and I can't remember the last one, but you guys voted for the top 5. 40% of you guys said you wanted to see us talk about the top 5 athletes of all time. Before we do that, we of course have a sponsor to go. So, as you know, we here at Make the Cut partner with the good folks over at Wisconsin Sports Heroics. Make sure you go over to their website at wisportsheroics.com and check out all of their great content. Both Napo and myself write for that website, and they're just terrific over there. So they have recently partnered with G5 Designs. G5 Designs is a Wisconsin-based merch company based out of De Pere, Wisconsin, and was created so that no matter where you live, Packers fans everywhere can have a connection back to Wisconsin and to the Packers. Our tagline, which I am a fan of and love as well, is one-of-a-kind shirts for one-of-a-kind fans, which, of course, could be more accurate to Packers fans. Yes, the Davante Adams jersey there, and all around the country we have fans, and, you know, we really are one-of-a-kind fans. We own the team, the only team to have fans that own the team technically, and you know, speaking of the site, right now they have a bunch of really cool Wisconsin kind of Packers-based T-shirts. They have the awesome Aaron Rodgers GOAT T-shirt, which I will, of course, be purchasing as we get closer to the season as well. But you don't have to wait till the season. You can go there right now. Go online. We'll put the link in the description below of how to get to that website. And they're selling shirts. They got face masks. They have more, you know, products coming, all at a great price. So when you are finished adding your purchase to the cart, please make sure you use promo code WISCO, all capital letters, WISCO, to get $1 off your entire purchase and free shipping. That's new, I think. I think the free shipping thing is new in there. That is, nice. Again, promo code WISCO, all caps, to get $1 off and free shipping. Link will be below somewhere in the video. And again, that is G5 Designs, one-of-a-kind shirts for one-of-a-kind fans. Just quickly, Napo, again, like we said before in the prior video, can't wait for that, and I cannot wait until we get our own merch. It's coming soon. People are already asking me when we're going to have it, so stay tuned for that. Napo, I will let you just go through the top 5, and then I will go through my top 5.
All right. Before I get into my top 5, I want to give some quick honorable mentions who just missed the cut for me. Jackie Robinson.
Pun intended.
Jackie Robinson, I think the things that he did for baseball and just the type of player he was were just huge in changing baseball into a diverse league.
Yep.
Obviously, you know, I don't want to say he's best known for, but, like, you know, stealing home plate, like, come on, that's ridiculous. And he's known for that, and of course diversifying the league. I don't know if you've seen this movie, Oaks, but
42?
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Like looking, if all of that is for the most part historically accurate, the stuff that he had to go through to just play the game that he loved was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I have a few more honorable mentions. And I'm assuming I'm gonna get probably some hate for these two being in my honorable mentions and not in my top 5. But LeBron James and Michael Jordan.
Okay.
I had them originally in my top 5, but I wanted to branch out into more of a global top 5 and more than just like 2 sports. I think my original top 5 was just basketball and football.
Okay.
And now I have a lot more diversity in my top 5, and I'm pretty happy with it. I think a lot of these picks are kind of going to come out of left field that you probably aren't going to think of as those guys.
Okay.
So coming in coming in at number 5, I have Jesse Owens, 4-time gold medalist in the 1936 Olympics. And these are like copied and pasted quotes about his life, because I don't know too much about him. I remember, learning a decent amount about him in like high school history classes when we talked about World War II. But he's recognized in his lifetime as perhaps the greatest and most famous athlete in track and field history, and I think that still holds up nearly a century later. Like, how crazy is that? That it's 2021, and that's maybe not we're exactly close to 100 years from 36, but 80 years ago. That's crazy to me. And I ran track and field, so that's my guy.
It's a personal connection. Yep.
It's a personal connection for me, and I want to show you this for a second, and just how crazy this man's stats were for track and field. So he set 3 world records and tied a 4th one in less than an hour at the 1935 Big Ten track meet in Ann Arbor, Michigan. That is a feat that has never been equaled ever, and it has been called the greatest 45 minutes ever in any sport. And for that reason, Jesse Owens is my number 5, not to mention just how incredible it was for a black man to be participating in the 1936 Olympics, which took place in Berlin, which was, if you know your history, what was going on in Germany around 1936. Yep.
Yeah.
So he was not in a friendly environment, and he still went out there and he kicked everyone's ass. Coming in at number 4, I have who I think is the greatest female athlete ever, Serena Williams. 23 Grand Slam single titles. That's ridiculous. That's the most by any player.
Preach it.
That's the most by any player in the Open era, and the second most all time behind Margaret Court. And just, I still cannot fathom that this is the thing that happened. I'm assuming, I don't know too much about it, but I don't think she was too far into it. But she won the Australian Open while she was pregnant.
Yes, sir.
I don't think she was in her 3rd trimester, but I can't even imagine even competing in a sport with a child in me. That is incredible. I think she is phenomenal, and she 100% deserves to be at least in everyone. I think everyone's top 10 athletes of all time should include Serena Williams.
At least.
Number 3, Michael Phelps, the most decorated Olympian of all time. 28 Olympic gold medals. 28! Not to mention, I think he won every single swimming gold medal in one Olympics? I think it was 5 or 6 Olympic gold medals? 8!
In one Olympic.
8 gold medals in one Olympics.
What?
That's ridiculous. What was it? The original record was 6, right? And then he broke it by 2 gold medals.
It was ridiculous.
Come on, man. If you're looking at a global standpoint, that's a feat that may never ever be touched again. Coming in at number 2, Jerry Rice. I think I don't really have too much to say about this. I think he is the greatest football player of all time, not just wide receiver. He is the number one.
Disrespect to Thomas Edward Patrick Brady.
It's no disrespect to Brady, but just this. If you just look at just the complete dominance this man had for nearly 2 decades, it is. I mean, the same thing could be said for Brady, but at the wide receiver point, you normally drop off as a wide receiver in your early 30s, especially around the time he was playing, when you didn't have the same amount of conditioning and health products back when he was playing. I do not see any of his receiving stats being broken in the near future. I don't think there is one wide receiver in the NFL right now who is going to come close to any of his receiving stats.
No.
Like, I think number 2 is still like 3,000 yards behind him in yards. That's like 3 seasons. Touchdowns, it's a lot. I don't know off the top of my head, but it's a lot.
He's ridiculous, man.
A lot. And that's why he's my number 2. He is the greatest football player of all time. Coming in at number 1, I had a lot of players playing around here, but if we're looking at a global standpoint and what I think is the world's most popular game, which is soccer or football for people outside of the US.
I know where you're going with this.
Like, I played soccer like for most of my early childhood into my early teens. I played for 9-10 years. I loved playing it. I didn't really watch it too much because, you know, if I watched it, I kind of wanted to play, and I just didn't watch it because of that point. Because, you know, I wasn't really skilled in soccer. I was just really fast, so any mistake I made, I could just make up by just sprinting down the field and just catching up.
Yeah.
But so that being said, I don't know, you know, too much about the history of football or soccer for, you know, people who are going to get confused. But, you know, there's one name that, like, you know, sticks out when, you know, someone asks you, who is your favorite soccer or football player?
Yeah.
Or who do you think is the greatest of all time? And, you know, the modern era, it's you know, you have Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, and then, you know, you go back a few more years, you had David Beckham. But, like,
I know where you're going with this.
I think the guy who I would say most soccer players or football players strive to become, Pele. Pele. The most career goals of any footballer ever. The FIFA Player of the Century, France football's greatest FIFA World Cup player, a time 100 most important people of the 20th century list. The entire 20th century. So you have political figures, you have musical figures, you have actors, actresses, other sports players, and he's in that top 100. You know how many people lived from 1900 to 1999? A lot. And he's in the top 100 most important people. He's Brazil's all-time leading goal scorer. Santos' all-time leading goal scorer. The youngest FIFA World Cup winner. Most assists in FIFA World Cup history. The 1958, 1962, and 1970 FIFA World Cup champion. That's it. If we're talking about just straight up dominance, that's 3 World Cup championships in 4 appearances.
It's ridiculous.
The top goal scorer in the World Cup finals, 2 Copa Libertadores titles. These are the ones that I'm not really going to know how to say.
He tried with the pronunciation.
6 Campeonato Brasileiro Series 8 titles, 2 Intercontinental Cups, the 1970 FIFA World Cup Golden Ball, 1958 FIFA World Cup Best Young Player. Like, the man is just, in basketball terms, he is a walking bucket.
Yep, walking net.
The impact that this man had and probably still does on just soccer and football players across the globe is ridiculous. Like, in every era of, like, football or basketball, you have that guy who you want to be like. Like, it was Joe Montana, it was Michael Jordan, now it's LeBron and Brady, Rogers, it was Jerry Rice and Calvin Johnson. It's like always Pele. I mean, maybe for the younger the younger crew who don't know, who are just starting to play, and, you know, the big names are Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. But I would say that, you know, a majority of the top tier pro soccer and football players inspiration, it's probably Pele, and I don't think that's gonna be passed like anytime soon. Like the man was phenomenal. I wish I could have actually seen him play.
Yeah.
I don't really say that too often about soccer players. Just, I prefer to play it rather than watch it, where, football, it's kind of both. Like, I enjoy playing it with my friends, but, if I put on the pads, I'm going to get split in half, so I'll watch it instead. But, soccer was my game. Like, I loved playing soccer. And, I have like nothing else. Like, I think I could have just said Pele and just left it at that. Like, I really don't think that there are words to describe just not how good he was, but just the impact that this man has had on countless generations of soccer and football players. And that's all I have to say on that.
That is a good list. I gotta be honest, dude. You shocked me with some of those, especially. I didn't even think about Jesse Owens, but I'm gonna put him in my honorable mentions now because
okay,
you gotta have him in there. I also have Hank Aaron in my honorable mentions. We talked about that off air. Hank Aaron's got to be in there for all that he went through, and of course Jackie Robinson as well. My number 5 athlete of all time, Tiger Woods. All right.
Okay.
Tiger Woods is a absolute legend. Okay. Tiger Woods made people who would otherwise never even think to turn on golf want to watch golf. Okay. The Masters win that he had 2 years ago in 2019. Maybe you weren't watching it. One of the rare times I have watched golf over the past couple of years. I don't not like golf. I just don't watch it a whole lot. The crowd atmosphere at that event, like Tiger is, the frame, like, or the phrase, like, he's bigger than basketball, he's bigger than golf. Tiger Woods is bigger than golf. Like, that's the best way to describe him. He supersedes the actual sport himself. Like, when you think of golf, you think of one guy. You think of Tiger Woods. You just do.
I know no other golfers.
No other golfers, exactly.
I literally know no other golfers besides Tiger Woods.
Exactly, and a lot of people would say the same thing. Like, let's just go through a couple of his accolades here. 15 majors is second behind Jack Nicklaus all time. 15, okay, and including the one that he had in 2019 at the Masters. 82 PGA Tour wins, which is 9 more than Jack Nicklaus, who leads the all-time, majors record. 14 and this stat is insane. Like, okay, so this guy is clutch. 14-1 record when he has a lead or a share of the lead going into Sunday. So, like, into the final round, he's only ever lost one time in a major, once. And that's kind of why they call him Tiger Sundays, because, like, not only does he wear red, but if he's leading or he's close, he's winning that major, okay? The guy is just dominant. One of only 5 players to ever win all 4 majors, which is like the Grand Slam of tennis, where they win all 4. He won all 4 in a row, so like over the whole year span, he won all 4 that year. It's nicknamed the Tiger Slam. That's pretty cool. One of, in my opinion, the greatest sports comeback stories that we have maybe ever seen. Like, a lot of people know what happened to him, and I think it was 08 or 09 with the off the outside of golf stuff and everything that happened there with that situation, and then to come back from not only that, injuries to his back and countless back surgeries and injuries to his lower body and just even coming back from a mental standpoint of, like, before that off the outside of tennis stuff or golf stuff happened, pardon me, he was just dominant, and then having to mentally work your way back up to realizing, like, you're not that guy, but you want to get back there, and to win the Masters in 2019 was just in my opinion, for my money, one of the greatest comeback stories we've ever seen. So he's the highest Nike sponsored golfer by far. Obviously, like, you don't even know another golfer, like, he's the only golfer to really have his own brand that, like, means anything, from what I know. Like, so he was a young prodigy and came through from a young age. So, succeeded all the expectations. Just had a great year, and like I said, is bigger than golf. Number 4, one of your honorable mentions. I can't keep LeBron off there, dude. Like, 3rd all time in scoring. is going to be the only player to ever be top 5 in points and assists all time. We all know, four-time champion. He had the 3-1 comeback, the greatest comeback for my money in any series of any sport ever, against the greatest record-wise team ever, the 73-9 Warriors. Got Cleveland their first championship in 52 years, okay? Is on the cover of Sports Illustrated at age 14. Those are insanely high expectations. He's coined as the chosen one at age 15, and he has actually done better and, again, exceeded the expectations of what even that is at that point.
Which is ridiculous.
That's just stuff he's done on the court. Every franchise he goes to, he turns them around, makes them just a completely different, much better franchise, and like you said on the debate, brings them to the finals every single year he's healthy. So, like, I just don't think there's a way to put him out, off the list. Off the court stuff, like, you could just have an entire hours-long debate on this. Like, open a public school in Akron and pays for their entire college tuition if they graduate from that school. And here's some stuff that they get from there. Free tuition, free uniforms, free breakfast, lunch, and snacks, free transportations within 2 miles of the school, a free bike, a free helmet, access to a food pantry for their family, guaranteed tuition for everybody that goes there. Wow. That is ridiculous. Okay, like, he doesn't have to. The thing that bothers me the most is when an athlete or a celebrity will donate money and say, well, that's all they gave? Like, how much they You agree?
So much. Oh my God, it pisses me off so much when when you see, like, I think Aaron Rodgers got hate for donating like $500K, like matching the Barstool Sports thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Oh my God, he's a multimillionaire. He should have gave more." Okay, what did you give?
Right. What did you give? And they don't have to give anything. There's nothing in their contract, newsflash, that says you must donate this much to charity. So anything that anybody gives, just be thankful. Like, that's not the point of this whole thing. But I'm just saying, like, LeBron did so much more than what he even had to, no matter where he came from. So, and just so many other things that he's done. He started the, what is it called? Uninterrupted site where, athletes can go and have their voices heard, and they can kind of be the owners of their own story. And he's also got, the shop and everything like that. So he's done a lot of great off the court things. Number 3, Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time. 6-0 in the finals. Okay, 6-time champion. Has the biggest shoe brand company in the entire world. Like, there is nobody with a bigger shoe brand company. I'm talking designer, all that stuff. Nobody knows what, any brand is better than what they know, what, like, that whole, like, arm up with the legs spread out. Like, everybody knows who that is, what that is, what it represents. Undoubtedly, the most iconic figure probably in any team sport. I gotta be honest. Like, who does not know who Michael? And this is worldwide we're talking about. I'm not even just talking about the country. So, Seth's retirement. When he was playing, he wasn't a very political guy. Kind of, stayed away from that. Didn't really do many, donations from what I can see. But Seth's retirement's been very charitable. He's got a lot of foundations, and he's given millions of dollars to foundations. And just recently, even for the pandemic and fighting people that are, out of food and out of work. So he's done some great things, and he's got to be, my number 3. Number 2, Serena Williams. Okay, like you said, depending on who you ask, in the Open era, without question, the most dominant female tennis player, and she's right up there with the most dominant tennis player in general. Like, she's right up there. I mean, Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal were dominant as well. Serena Williams is right up there, and definitely for females, the most dominant, okay? Not only that, she's a trailblazer for African-American women in tennis. I mean, she was the first woman to ever win the Grand Slam that was an African-American woman, okay? She completed the feat of winning the Grand Slam, like I said. Like you said, 23 Grand Slam titles is the most of any tennis player, male or female, in the Open era. So, like, she's just dominating when she's out there. So I don't even have this on there. The legendary, pregnancy story where she goes out and wins was it the Australian Open, right?
Yeah.
While pregnant, okay? Had to go through so many different loopholes and everything, and being a trailblazer for her sport. And holds the record simultaneously with, I think it was Steffi Graf, for the most number one ranking spot for like consecutive weeks. Somewhere in like the 300s. I think it was 313. Has 14 Grand Slam doubles titles with her sister, who's also super, super legendary as well. And she has the 23 in singles and 2 in mixed doubles, so 39 total, is the third most combined titles ever. So like, she's male or female, so she's just crazy good. Like, there's no doubting what she's done on the tennis court. She's meant so many women and young girls off the tennis court as an inspiration, regardless of race. I think just in general, like as a female, to do what she's done. And there used to be talk of like, could she beat men? Because like, she is just that good. What do you agree with it?
I would love to see her and Roger Federer go at it. That would be a legendary game.
I'd love to see it as well, and I'd give her, a chance in there for sure. So
I think it would be incredibly close. I don't even know who would win.
I don't either. Who knows? Two of the greatest, like Dunk likes to say, you're nitpicking at that point. Who knows? I'd be fans. I'd pay to see that. All right, number one. I don't know how he wasn't on your list or your honorable mentions list. Muhammad Ali.
Oh, I didn't even think about boxing, dude. Oh, man.
Ali, dude, is the greatest, okay, athlete of all time. I could just go on and on about all the amazing, like, when I think of legends, I think of how many legendary moments do you have, right? Who has more legendary moments, really, than Muhammad Ali? Like, I shook up the world, like I'm the greatest, in the world and all that stuff. And everything that he did outside of the ring, like as far as being a civil rights activist and, literally willing to risk his entire career. And he almost did lose his whole career to stand up for what he believed in. And, being the voice for athletes at the time, really, for, standing up for African Americans and leading that charge. And then just in the ring, defeated Sonny Liston, who, this is before our time. So admittedly, this is all research and just watching the matches, but defeated Sonny Liston, who was feared by everybody at all accounts, and people thought this guy was invincible. And Muhammad Ali goes in there, outclasses him, barely gets hit and defeats him. And actually in the fight, dude, like I watched this like probably a year ago, and I still don't know what it is. Nobody knows what it is, but Ali gets like blinded by Sonny Liston. Like something is like in his eye. They think it was like whatever the gel they put on your face when the fighters go into the ring, but like overcomes being damn near blinded. Like Ali said, he could not see out of that eye for pretty much the rest of the fight. Still beat him, okay. And then he defeats George Foreman, who was so powerful that apparently a report said that people close to Ali were actually fearful for his life. That's how like hard this dude hit. He goes in there, that's that rope-a-dope against the ropes, and he can't be hit, and he's just sitting there, and he goes like, like he can't. Just legendary moments, dude. Rope-a-dope, rumble in the jumble with Foreman, defeats him, and just, my number one athlete of all time. Obviously did so much out of the ring, did a lot in it, and yeah, I liked your list, though. Your list caught me by surprise. I think mine is maybe more like traditional, and yours was kind of like outside of the box, so I like yours a lot.
I think that, like, I want to talk about Muhammad Ali just for a little bit, like, just the impact, like the same thing with Pele, like the impact that this man had on boxing.
Yeah.
And then
on the world.
I don't know if you ever saw this video, but this is when Ali was I forget what he was diagnosed with.
Was it ALS?
It was either that, maybe that, or Parkinson's. I don't remember, but there's one video that is like probably like one of the most wholesome videos I think I've ever seen, and it's Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson, and they're this is when he's nonverbal, and Mike Tyson looks like a little kid, like showing Muhammad Ali like how he boxes and like boxing, and I'm just like if you're able to like Mike Tyson, he's a hilarious guy if like you see him outside of the boxing ring, but like you have like face tattoo, and like he looks like a scary dude, and you're able to turn this man into like a little kid. Like he like if you saw the glint in his eye, he looked like a kid in a candy store. Like this is his hero. This is his hero, and he's able to show him like it's. I am going back, and I think Muhammad Ali has to be in my honorable mention. So I'm gonna put that in there real quick. But it's just Like I didn't even think about going into like stuff like that,
which is surprising because you went into swimming, you went into track, you went into all these other.
Yes, I went into like
so
many other sports, but what can you do? I'm writing him in now.
All right, but all right, that'll just about do it for us here at Make the Cut. That'll wrap up another episode. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Of course, if you did like it, please make sure to subscribe, leave a like, comment below, who you want to see us do a top 5 career games for, because obviously that is a revolving thing that we do every single time that's up. And make sure to go over to Twitter, follow us at MTC Oaks Napo. It's Andrew Oaks, Louis Napolitano, obviously. And, leave a like and subscribe, because I never want to be the one who misses what makes the cut.